Join the dark side.
We're on the E3 show floor. I'm here with Matt, who's the producer on Disney Infinity. As someone who has played Disney Infinity, this was sort of one of the things I've been waiting for and hoping for. We're finally getting Star Wars. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, finally, at long last. Yes, you're welcome. No, it's been a crazy ride. We've been working on this for about 2 years, and you can imagine that's really difficult because last year about this time I was doing the same interviews going, where's Star Wars? But yeah, no, so we finally had Star Wars added to the entire Infinity sort of platform. We have 3 playsets that are Star Wars themed coming out. One of them is named Twilight of the Republic, which is based around like the Clone Wars era of the Star Wars franchise. The other one is Rise Against the Empire, which is based off episodes 4, 5, 6. And then Force Awakens, and that's about all you're going to get out of me about Force Awakens.
I can imagine what that's eventually going to be.
Yeah, well, the good news is because we're you know, just like Lucas, we want to make sure everything stays secure. I know nothing, like because I figured I'd be doing this again this year, so I was like, hey, do I have to actually know anything? No? Okay. Oh, I don't need to know. Even better. So it's all under lock and key and stuff. It's really cool, though.
So there no accident can happen that way, I guess. Yeah. All right. So how does change? Because like you do new stuff every year, but it must influence the actual gameplay. How does Star Wars influence the gameplay in the Star Wars game?
Oh, wow. A lot of ways. It's really, really cool. So you heard that we got on a bunch of new developers, correct? Okay. So with like the Clone Wars era playset Twilight, we wanted to make sure it focused on lightsabers and the Force. I mean, the Jedis are at the height of their power. They're like super, super awesome when it comes to combat. So it's like, okay, let's go talk to Ninja Theory. And Ninja Theory, thankfully, was like, oh, we're huge fans. Like, we would totally like to work with you on a Star Wars game and Infinity. So they came in and helped rewrite the entire combat engine with Avalanche. So from the ground up, all of our combat's been revamped. So not only do you get awesome new like pause combos, aerial juggling, finishers, all these cool new moves, you also get all that for all the other characters. So when you go in the toy box, Solie can equip the Flamingo Croquet Mallet and actually knock a guy into the air and just start cracking him with it. So everyone gets the benefit off that combat. For Rise Against the Empire, we wanted to focus on the vehicles. So the guys at Studio Gobo went back and refocused on all of our flying mechanics because, you know, Millennium Falcon, come on, has to be perfect. So majority of the Rise Against the Empire is like focused on various vehicles like space combat, trench run has to be awesome, Battle of Hoth, you have to be able to take down the AT-ATs, Death Star 2, you have to be able to fly out as it explodes, and it has to all be awesome. So that's sort of where that went. Force Awakens, don't know yet.
All right, and as I understand, it's not just the Star Wars figures that will have this enhanced combat. It goes across everything, old figures as well, right?
Yeah, you are 100% correct. That's one of the benefits was of bringing Ninja Theory in with their expertise to help modify and add to our overall combat system.
All right, and for people who are not super familiar with Disney Infinity, you've already mentioned playsets and toy box. Can you explain that for new players?
Oh yeah, totally. So Disney Infinity is sort of broken up into sort of 2 different groups. There's playsets and then toy boxes. Playsets are the story-driven, true-to-IP experience. So like, for instance, the Star Wars playsets, you can play in those playsets as any character you want from the Star Wars saga. So like, yes, you can play as Kanan from Rebels in Twilight, in Rise Against the Empire, and Force Awakens. You can't take Anger from Inside Out and play in Star Wars. That's how they're IP specific. Now the toy box is where all the magic happens. The toy box is the equivalent of your parents' living room rug where you threw out all the toys, played with them how you wanted, you know, did stuff, made your own like adventures. That's what the toy box represents. It was us trying to bring imagination back into the living room. Now, the guys at Avalanche did a phenomenal job. Not only can you build your own worlds, we have actually logic toys in this toy box to make your own games. So like, we've seen stuff where back like on Infinity 1, people were actually recreating like Gauntlet, the top-down classic game, or like a version of Spy Hunter, like cool stuff like that. So the possibilities inside the toy box are truly, as we say, infinite, and you can do whatever you want inside there, and you can mix and match every character, power disc, everything inside of there.
As far as I can see, Star Wars is not the only figures you're bringing out this year, right?
Yep. You are 100% correct. We actually have an inside-out playset. By the way, when you see the movie, bring some tissues. You are going to get verklempt a couple times. It was about 4 times for me. JV cried twice. So that one is actually a casual, like family, kids puzzle platformer. We wanted to make it because it didn't make sense to emphasize all combat with these characters from that film. So we wanted to make an actual sort of like a platform game. So it's actually at times an isometric or a pure 2D platformer. And then also we have a Marvel playset that United Front Games is going to do. We haven't talked about it too much yet, but there'll be more info in the future.
All right, and I saw the info you put out. There was a massive Star Wars thing coming out where you get Boba Fett as well. Can you talk about the different options you have with that?
Oh, yeah. So there's like the standard starter pack you can get on any console, and that's the one where you get like the disc, the reader, Ahsoka Tano, and Anakin Skywalker in there. And that in the US is going for about $64.99. Not sure where you're from. Also, we have a digital version that we're going to release day and date. So if you want to keep your same base, but just pay for the game and download it, you can do that as well. They haven't added the price yet, but it will be lower than the retail offering because you'll have to actually go out and buy Twilight of the Republic separately if you do that. And then last but not least, for PS3 and PS4, we have the Star Wars Saga Starter Pack. This is super fun and cool. Like, huge Star Wars fans are going to love this. So you get the starter pack with Ahsoka Tano and Anakin along with the Clone Wars, or excuse me, Twilight Against the Republic. You also get Rise Against the Empire, which is going to have Luke and Leia, and then also Boba Fett. The only way to play as Boba Fett until this year will be to buy the Star Wars Saga Starter Pack. Boba Fett will be available individually in 2016.
All right, and finally, the normal playsets, when are they coming out? When can people get their hands on?
So how it works is we're coming out this fall, and we're also going to be releasing Inside Out along the same time. Shortly after that, we'll release Rise Against the Empire. Once again, benefit of getting the exclusive with PS3, PS4. And then Force Awakens, I would assume, is coming out around the film. And then Marvel, we haven't announced when that's coming out yet.
Awesome. Thanks for your time.
Hey, no worries, man. This was a pleasure.